3 speed. 3 speed.
Here we go. 5, 4.
Listen, you know, this is ridiculous. I'm just getting so tired of this. It's been a bad day. I don't know what to do. Well, thank you. Gosh. What the heck is this? Oh my gosh. What kind of noise is that? Oh my. Oh, well, I feel better. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I feel, oh my God, look at the tails wagging. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, hi, what's your name? Is your name PARO? Are you a personal assistance robot from Japan? You are, and in Japan, yes, in Japan, where they don't have people to help take care of their elderly, and they warehouse them in large nursing homes, and they're upset or they're just sitting around the table all day and nobody there to talk to them or work with them. They bring this $6,000 robot to them. That's so sad. What do you think about that, PARO? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, poor thing. Well, you go to sleep now. I'm going to talk to Tom, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, well, I feel so much better. Sometimes it takes a little mechanical device to calm us down. With kids, we bring them stuffed animals. Yes, I know, PARO. Life is tough, huh? Okay, well, you go to sleep. Here, we'll just put you right here. You can listen in. So, Tom, thank you for putting up with that.
Oh, quite all right. Pretty amazing.
Well, you and I met on a boat out here in Channel Islands Harbor. Yeah. And as we were talking, obviously you were someone who needed to be here. And tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we're center in on the things that really excited me.
Okay. Well, of course, for the past going on 9 years now, I've been entertaining at the convalescent hospitals and senior living places. And when I go in, I don't carry a little amplifier box with a microphone. I bring them everything. I show them the respect that I put on a good show. I bring in speakers on stands. I bring my mixing board, and I give them a full performance for an hour to an hour and a half of music that we all grew up with. And I've got several homes that, matter of fact, I just celebrated 5 years every single month for 5 years at the same place. And so I get to see a lot of people through their life. And unfortunately, they don't have much of a life there. They've got 4 walls, a bed, not a lot of activity. So when the music comes on, and music is life, it renders a lot of excitement and a pleasure for them. I get to see them smile, tap their feet, and I've had some wonderful moments that are very rewarding to me. And so it's just been a good part of my life.
Well, I think the things that we've talked about, I mean, we have Alzheimer's homes, and we're all looking forward to Alzheimer's, not with a whole lot there. So I think I have half-Alzheimer's half the time when I can't find my keys. But also people who've really lost the ability to talk, and nursing staff who consider someone an unruly patient and difficult to deal with. So could tell me some of those.
I've got a couple of moments like that. One on the Alzheimer's. I let my hobby come into what I do. I collect militaria, which I enjoy. So I was asked one time to do a display. And I found that this really helps because when I bring out my military items, whether been donated or I purchased, and I let the fellas and or women touch them, see them, it brings them back. I've had gentlemen walk up and touch a belt, touch a helmet, or pick up a hat, and they can tell me where they were, what they did, what rank, what theater of battle. And at one time, it was really interesting. I had two fellows in front of me who were talking, because when I put on these displays, I also do a little bit of seminar and talk about the war. Not that I was there, but I tell them my stories of my dad and family. And these two guys got to talking with me, and they found out they were at the same place at the same time, and they became friends. So for that day, it made me feel good that they actually did remember themselves. They knew who they were. They had a chance to reflect on their history, which, unfortunately, with that disease, you lose yourself.
So these were men with Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Who disconnected,
Totally.
incontinent, having difficulty feeding themselves, wandering around at night.
Yes.
And that memory, so ingrained in them, we brought it out for a day.
It stimulated it so well. It kind of gives you shivers sometimes when you can see a gentleman that, they just walk around in a daze sometimes. And from what I've seen, and I'm sure there's lighter cases, worse cases, but I get to see them just sit there and chatter and talk, and then we can actually reflect like friends, and so that's the reward I get. Even in music, I had a gentleman that I became acquainted with, and he came in and he had MS very bad, could not speak very well. And so you would have to, and he was frustrated because people would give up trying to talk to him because it took so long. To get a decent sentence of a question he has would take anywhere up to 2 to 3 minutes, which is quite a long time when you really watch the second hand. And, but I would get words, and I'd say, okay, repeat it again, John, just let me hear one more time. And within about a couple of minutes, I knew what he was asking, and I would answer the question. And he liked that. So he came into my show one time, and when I was singing, I was looking over at him, and he was mouthing what I was singing. I was doing some Frank Sinatra and Engelbert Humperdinck songs. And so then the next time I says, John, come up and sing with me. So his hands were kind of deformed, so I had to put the microphone in his hand. I put the mic in his hand, and when the song played, he got probably 60 to 70% of his speech back. And I was in awe. And so he did 2 or 3 songs with me, and which for about a month or 2 of my shows coming in there, he would come up and I'd exercise this. And his doctor was amazed. His doctor came up and said, what kind of machine is that? And like it was a special machine. I said, it's just a disc player machine. And but he wanted his nurse to get one. He wants to call it speech therapy because it helped him so much. You take the mic away and he was back to his state again. And he was quite a gentleman. Yeah, music brings a lot out of people. I mean, we grow up with it. We have it as background. We go out to listen to it. We perform it. It's always there. You can't get away from music. And one funny case is that I was doing a show at this place, and the lady said, we just got a new patient in, the nurse said, they just got a new patient in, and but she's very cranky. She hollers and screams for no reason. She hates everybody. And they brought her in bed, and they put her in the back, and they had her bed rail up. And I said, that's okay. And she said, we'll remove her if she makes too much noise. I said, I don't think it's a problem. So I'm singing away. I was doing a Elvis impersonation. So I was doing his songs, and I was coming up to the last part, and I had my silk scarves that I was going to give away. But I was watching her, and her hands would come out of the board and would be tapping the bed rail. So I knew I got her, you know, and so I made a special effort to make sure I went up to her and gave her a scarf, which she clinged onto, kissed her on the forehead, and I was going away, and she was kind of like still hanging on. But the nurse said that the next day when I came in, because I sometimes come back and visit the patients, that she don't know what I did, but she's happy, she talks to people. She turned out to be an overnight changed person. I go, well, you know, it's just that good music they listen to.
Well, you're channeling the king, but really you are the king.
Well,
and what you've done for all these years for these people,